We are going to get to the final part of this episode. James and I are picking our all-star teams from the players who did not make the all-star game. I fundamentally believe that if these players had their own offshoot, illegal, renegade all-star game and they just played, the game would be better than the one that we saw last night on Sunday. Because these guys would be like, oh, you didn't think I was an all-star? They'd be bringing it. I think the all-star snubs game would be a much better game than the all-star. Actually, that would be super fucking cool if they just limited the all-star game to 10 players. And then the next 10 players don't make the all-star team. But that team has to play the all-star team. So it'd be like a battle of like real all-stars versus not all-stars. I think that would be fun. Okay, man. Adam Silver, hit me up. I got plenty of dumb ideas.
You got to get his contact, man.
Yeah,
I see it's just Adam Silver NBA at gmail.com.
I know, man. I'm sure you
send an email to that email and hope for the best.
I'm Adam and I'm a silversmith. I don't know much about this National Basketball Association.
Yeah. You need any good silver. All right.
Okay. So let's just go over very quickly who the all-stars were this year. Okay. So the all-stars who we cannot select for this team, we have Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Steph Curry, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Kevin Durant. He did not play though because he has an injury. Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James. Have you ever heard of him? John Morant, Jason Tatum, Domantas Sabonis, Larry Markkinen, Julius Randle, Kyrie Irving, Jaren Jackson Jr., Pascal Siakam, Drew Holiday, or as James like to call him, J-Roo, Bam Adebayo, DeMar DeRozan, De'Aaron Fox, Jaylen Brown, Anthony Edwards, and Zion Williamson. Okay. So those are the guys that are in the All-Star game. And James and I are going to pick, going back and forth, kind of the draft status, our teams. We're just going to do 5 each, keep it real simple. And once we're done, we're going to decide who made the better team. Now, obviously, we'll be biased towards the ones that we like, but I'm willing to, concede when I'm right. Okay. So James, I am sharing my screen so you can take a look at all of the guys that are on the All-Star game. Nice and easy for you to see. Okay. So I'm going to give you the first pick. And who are you picking with the first pick of the non-All-Star All-Star game?
James Harden.
Oh, you're going with James Harden. All right.
Easily.
Okay, so give me like a few seconds of why are you taking James Harden?
I just think I think it's egregious that he wasn't an all-star, to be honest with you.
I agree. I agree too.
Yeah, like it's absolutely ridiculous. Julius Randle, Lauri Markkinen,
Markkinen's actually been really good. Like
sure, yeah, no. So right, I do think Lauri Markkinen's a deserving all-star. Probably even Julius Randle's a deserving all-star. But like we're talking about James Harden, man, the king of offense. Like you're telling me Anthony Edwards is already better than James Harden. You're telling me Domantas Sabonis is a better offensive hub than Harden. Like he's averaging like what 22 and 11 or something. Like I know basic counting stats aren't everything, but we're talking about James Harden here, man. Get out of here. There's no like he's just the best player that didn't make the All-Star team, and he's better than goddamn near half the players that made the All-Star team, man.
I agree with a lot of things you said.
Can I say one more thing? I usually really hesitate to get worked up about all-star snubs. You probably remember last year I said, like, if you're going to say somebody got snubbed, you had to tell me who should have replaced them. And a lot of times guys are just kind of picking their favorite player. Like, I don't usually dig that, but Harden is ridiculous. That's all. It's an exception to my rule. This is a real all-star snub and a bad one.
Okay. My pick is Jimmy Butler. I actually assumed he was an all-star because, as always, Jimmy Butler is one of the best players in the NBA. I don't understand how he didn't make the all-star team. I mean, this dude, like, one, he is sixth in box plus minus. Every player in the top 12 outside of him was made the all-star team, right? So, like, obviously, like, people don't love advanced metrics, but guess what? Like, you tend to agree with them, sort of. The guy, the
Yeah.
only guy in the top 15 to not make the all-star game outside of him that's in box plus minus is Anthony Davis, who's played 35 games, right? Like, so like he has the games bonus. And then Harden is 15th. I think Butler is one of the best players in the league. He can lead an offense, he can lead a defense. And I think, in my personal opinion, he's the type of guy you want at the All Star game because he might actually give a fuck. Like, he just has that vibe where it's like, I'm going to try 30% harder than these people in this All Star game. So I'm going with my pick, Jimmy Butler, the most underrated player. He's the most underrated player that we all agree is one of the best players in the league. I don't understand how someone playing for the Miami Heat who does what he does on such a consistent basis seemingly gets forgotten. Like last year in the playoffs, he was an absolute dog, as he always is. People were like, "Oh man, like I told you, Jimmy Butler's a top 10 player." It's like we all know he's a top 10 player, and I'm going with Jimmy Butler because he's better. He's better than James Harden, and
Yeah.
he's got that
I,
dog in him. He's
I
got
don't know
that
about
dog
better
in
than
him. I
James
don't know if
Harden, but
James Harden's got that dog in him. All right, I know
James
James
Harden's got
Harden.
his own type of dog in him. So okay, two questions for you. Are
Yes.
you keeping track of our choices?
Yes, I wrote him down. You have James Harden, and I will do this so we can keep that nice and easy.
All right, and are we picking five players each to make like a lineup,
Yeah,
or
5 players each, and yeah, like let's just line up. Like it's an all-star game, right? Like if you want to play four guards and one center, like I'm not going to hold it
well,
against
we're
you.
just gonna pick. We're gonna pick our teams, and the people are gonna decide who has the better team when we post them.
Okay, that's fine. We'll let that
Yeah,
happen. We'll let that
yeah.
happen
However you want to
because
go, positionless, positionful, if that's a word, which
we
it's
don't we
not.
don't have none of this bullshit like, oh, like you need two foreigns, a
No,
center.
yeah, no, no, no. Just pick
Fuck
your
that.
five guys.
Pick your
Yeah,
5 guys, man. You want to run with 5 point guards? It's an all-star game.
yeah.
Well, it's
But
not
so I'm
technically an
gonna
all-star game, but
I'm gonna. It's a non-all-star game. I'm
yeah.
gonna not do that though, and I'm gonna pick Anthony Davis next.
I hate you. I was really hoping you wouldn't pick Anthony Davis, but
Yeah, I
Anthony
know.
Davis
I
is
kind of
fucking
wanted to
amazing.
big brain it. I could definitely consider Desmond Bain, but then I also looked at Devin Booker, but then I was like, you just took a star offensive guard. Davis is probably more utility than taking Booker, and Davis is just plainly better than Desmond Bain right now. As good as Desmond Bain is, and as great of a season as he's having. So, Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis is great. I actually don't know how he didn't make the All-Star game. Before he had that foot injury, he was like literally in the MVP conversation, in my opinion. He was absolutely awesome. His defense is absurd. His offensive game has rebounded from a down past 2 seasons, really, I think, even though he hasn't played that much. I love that. All right, you know who I'm going with my next pick? I'm going big wings on you. I'm going Aaron Gordon.
Ooh,
Aaron Gordon has had a great season, right? Like I know he's the recipient of a lot of Nikola Jokic goodies, and that's fair. But this guy's having the best season of his career. He's a great multi-positional defender. He's fantastic cutter. He's a good enough passer. He's really good on mismatches. Like if you ever, I like try to watch the Nuggets because I love watching Jokic, and if he gets like a mismatch, he'll just like get down the block and just like bully them and get like a nice little bucket. Like he knows how to use his strength. And the other reason I'm going for him is, look, if we're gonna be completely honest, there's a lot of good guards that didn't get picked. So I know that I can get a high level guard that James won't be able to. So
yeah,
that's
but
why
you're
I'm going
about
with
to
Aaron
you're
Gordon.
you're about to have one less on your menu though.
Okay, well, who you going for?
Devin Booker, man.
Okay,
Just I'm just taking
goddamn.
the best. I'm just going BPA.
Okay, I see that. I see that. I see that. You see, you're
Yeah.
not.
I almost went Bane because I really love how Bane is so complimentary. He's the new Clay Thompson for me. He's just like a
Yeah,
perfect 3-and-D off guard. But it's the All Star game, man. I want to get points on the board. Give me Devin Booker.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so I need a guard. Hmm. Oh, this is easy. This is easy. I could go with Trey Young, but I fucking hate Trey Young.
Yeah,
I fucking hate Trey Young. And
not a fan.
I need someone that can actually hit a 3-pointer this year because Trey Young sneakily has been pretty pathetic from 3-point range this season. I'm going with Darius Garland.
Nice. Yeah.
Garland has been awesome. Like I know people are rightfully Donovan Mitchell's been amazing. He's probably been better than him. Garland's been just as good as he was last season. I love him as a player because he can be dynamite on ball in the pick and roll, dynamite off ball, and he's showing that in Cleveland this year. I think a lineup with Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, Darius Garland, like that's a good infrastructure to start out with. Okay.
Okay. All right. So I am gonna go ahead then and take Desmond Bain and just run him at the three. I'm going guard heavy.
Dude, Desmond Bane's like 5'2". What are you doing?
No, he's like 6'4", isn't he?
No, I'm well, okay. We're gonna settle this based upon
It
what
doesn't even matter, man,
he's
because
6'5". Desmond Bane's not
yeah,
6'5".
boy, he
He's
just
got
has
short
really
arms.
short
I don't
arms.
care.
He's got really short arms. Yeah,
he's got six
yeah,
foot
that's all right.
one
It's the All Star game, man.
wingspan.
I got Harden, Booker, Bain, and now I just need a wing. And I'm gonna run you off the floor. Davis is gonna clean up whatever my height disadvantages account for.
I shouldn't have given you the first pick. That really put me in a pickle. Okay. So I need some pop. I also need a center, but there's a lot of good centers I can go get out there. Should I take Walker Kessler? Uh, let's see. Who, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm going with LaMelo Ball.
Nice.
Look, I know LaMelo missed time because of injury and he's only played 33 games. That's why he probably wasn't an all-star. The defense comes and goes. He takes a lot of threes, but this dude is a playmaker. He's got size. I got a wing rotation with length, size, grit, and okay, like I'm building a real basketball team, and you're out here building some bullshit.
I think I've got a viable lineup with when you see my fifth pick. I think it'll bring it all together nicely.
oh Chris Paul. You're just like, I'm just going all
Four guards, baby.
four guards.
No. Are you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you out, but actually, do me a favor and just scroll down on your screen before I confirm. Just make sure there's nobody I like a little better.
Alex Caruso. You could use some defense.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna go with Larry Nance Jr.
Really, Larry Nance Jr.
Larry
Oh
Nance
my.
Jr. Baby, yeah. So I got AD, Nance Jr., Desmond Bain, Devin Booker, James Harden.
Okay. I need a center that can deal with AD. This is gonna be tough. There's some good options.
Some good
Right?
options.
There's Kristaps Porzingis, but I don't like his mobility. Even though Porzingis is having a very good season, and if the Wizards were better, he might have actually been the All-Star
Yeah,
conversation.
he's got all-star numbers.
Jared Allen, not enough offensive game, but I would have instant chemistry between him and Garland, which could be the difference in an All-Star game where there's no
That's true.
practice. I'm looking at Miles Turner and Al Horford, and I don't know
Yeah, of
which one
course.
I would
That's what I was
rather
looking at
take.
too.
Um, Horford's been awesome shooting the ball, but I'm going with Miles Turner. I just think he is physically he's a little bit better than
I
Horford
think
is right
I
now.
think you made the right decision. Yeah.
All right. And look, I understand that my team is like, if someone's like, all right, list the 5 best albums of whatever, and someone's just like, I'm gonna give you 5 indie albums, and that person's like, I'm gonna list like 5 albums from like artists people actually know, and this is
Yeah,
gonna go to
mine's
this
like
is gonna go
Michael
to Twitter.
Jackson, Prince, you know.
Yeah, fucking, this is gonna go to the Twitter vote. I'm gonna get absolutely fucking destroyed in my non all star team. But I would like to say, I think Jimmy Butler is the best player.
See, I like James Harden better than Jimmy Butler, to be honest.
Really,
Yeah, I think ultimately the offensive gap is pretty significant. As good as Butler is, and I understand the defensive gap is even more significant. But to me, like Harden is a guy that you can automatically build an elite offense around, you know, and I put a little more value in that.
okay. As much as I appreciate that, let's just go take a quick look at the Carfax. Jimmy Butler, 21 points, 5.1 assists, 6 rebounds. decent efficiency, ton of free throws, only 1.7 turnovers. What are we looking at with
Decent
James?
efficiency is a bit of a stretch. Well, the 3-point shooting is horrendous.
James Harden, 21.4, 10.8 assists, 6.2 rebounds, 3.4 turnovers.
Ooh, and he can shoot.
I mean, he can shoot. Not as many free throws though. Okay, yeah.
No,
Harden is definitely built more for all-star games. That might be true. But
yeah,
man, I'm
I will
just
say this too. I think Harden and Butler are very comparable and on similar tiers. It's not outrageous to say that Butler's a better player. He's such a better defender.
yeah, I mean the thing with Butler that I think always gets undervalued is he's such a low turnover player, right? Like his turnover percentage is 8.7%. Like no one is anywhere close that like actually has the ball and like leads offense, right? Like he's an incredibly low turnover player, and that's why I really like him. Okay. So before we get out of here, what do you think about my team? How do you think my team would do?
Read out. Can you read out each team again?
Okay. So I have Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, Darius Garland, LaMelo Ball, Miles Turner. I'm be doing some interesting shit. All right. Like this team can play up tempo. This team can play slow. It's got some shooting. It's got some defense. It's got more defense than your team. I'll say that. And
Oh
then
yeah.
James, you have James Harden, Anthony Davis. I wanted both those guys. Devin Booker, also a good pick. Desmond Bain, T Rex arms, but still good player. And Larry Nance Jr. The Larry Nance Jr. one is like the only curveball. Like you just like you took like, and I'm taking name brand, right? Like you're out here shopping at Costco, Devin, and I'm out here, again, a Coca-Cola, and then Larry Nance Jr. is in there. It's like, what's going on?
Listen, with my last pick, I drafted for fit. I needed a defensive minded guy. I wanted to keep someone who gives you like some floor spacing at least, albeit not great floor spacing. There weren't a lot of options left. I could have went with Tingus Pingus, but I just felt like I needed a versatile defender that can cover more ground given my guard heavy lineup. So I
Honestly,
didn't
man,
like that pick. What's that?
honestly, I'm just thinking Porzingis, you say, hey, stand in front of the rim, let AD do all the cleanup and like all the moving.
Yeah, I
I think
know, but I like having two versatile defenders there because I got a 3 guard backcourt. You know what I mean?
that is
So I'm
true.
like I want 2 guys in the front court that can both clean up.
My team's got more size. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
I think
this.
the teams are pretty even. To be honest, I actually do. It's a style contrast. It'd be interesting. I have more offense,
Yeah, so
and
so this is my thing. Your team is gonna destroy my team if they play as if it's an all-star game.
yeah,
But I think if they play like this is like, blood sport, like a competitive playoff game, I think my team might edge it just because of the defense. Like that would be my take. Like obviously your team's gonna score a ton of points, especially in an all-star game situation where no one's playing defense. But Jimmy Butler's got that dog in him, and he's the type of guy in an all-star game that's he's gonna make
now
sure
let me
these
say
guys play
this.
hard.
I have 3 out of 5 plus defenders for what it's worth. My team's not fully sieves. Bane is just a little undersized at the 3, but he is a good
Yeah.
defender. He'll,
How? Yeah, but seriously, Garland's the only guy on my team that can't defend,
no,
and
Ball's a really bad defender too.
Ball's a bad defender. I also think Ball's a bad defender because he plays for the Charlotte Hornets and doesn't
Possible,
give a
but
fuck.
we can't. That's too hypothetical to factor into this exercise. You
I'm just
can,
saying this. He's got length, right? Like if you're a bad defender but you got long arms and you're next to Aaron Gordon and Jimmy Butler and Miles Turner who are gonna like, make plays for you, I think that elevates him. I'm interested to see. I'm
put
interested
it
to
on
see.
Twitter, man.
I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm not actually interested. I'm gonna get absolutely fucking destroyed in this Twitter
I don't
poll.
know. I actually don't know. Put it up there, man. Let's get out of here and let the people decide.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. This was episode 45 of Above the Break.